वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये। नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवतसेवया भगवती उत्तमा श्लोके भक्तिर्भवती नैष्टिकी। ॐ अज्ञानातिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतः पदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवंश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथं वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपदान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितंश्च। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमस्तुते। तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णहृदय भूतले प्रभुपादति प्रिय श्री गिरिराजाय स्वामिने सुभक्तारास बिहारिभ्यं भक्तयेच्छात्मदायिने। नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णहृदय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यादेशतारिणे। मुखं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरु दीनतारिणम्। Hare Krishna. So we are reading from Shrimad Bhagavatam, Canto 6, Chapter 7. So this is Indra offends Brihaspati. So it looks like Shrimad Bhagavatam has covered everything, right? Everything that we do and which cause distress to us. So this is the offense of Brihaspati, who is the spiritual master of the demigods, the devas. So we remember what happened. So Indra was sitting on his throne, and he was surrounded by all the other demigods who are his subordinate. So he was enjoying himself, his material opulence. And Brihaspati, who is the spiritual master of all the devas, he walked in. So it explained there that every day, Brihaspati, because they do the yagya, right? Just like we chant early morning, we get up, we chant, right? So similarly, the yajna is going on all the time, and Brihaspati is the priest, right? So every day, Indra is seeing the guru, right? The priest. So one time, so Indra was just relaxing with his associates, right? And the dance performance going on, all that stuff. And Brihaspati walked in, and what happened? Indra didn't get off his throne. Now, he didn't get off his throne. Not only that, he didn't even offer him a seat. He didn't even welcome him. I mean, how crazy we can be, right? Every day we are saying our Guru Maharaj, every day, every day, every day. We have that experience actually. Remember, we went on Yatra, maybe in Mayapur itself, I think it was. So in the beginning, everybody, all disciples, everybody is running, Guru Maharaj, Guru Maharaj. Now you spend 7 days with Guru Maharaj, gradually the crowd started, diminishing. Everybody started going their own place, it dispersed. So same thing. It's happening in Indralok, right? Same mentality. So when he did that, so Brihaspati understood that King Indra has become very proud because of his position, right? हाँ पद से हाँ अहंकार हो गया तो पद से so he understood. So what did he do? He just walked out. He didn't say anything. He just walked out. All right? He walked out. So then Indra, he realized I have done immediately, because he's intelligent, right? You have to do, 100 Ashwamedha Yagya, right? So much pious deed you have to do before you can occupy the post of Indra. So immediately Indradev understood I have done a mistake, and he wanted to rectify his mistake, and he was concerned that he will lose his position. If he offends his guru, who is putting him on that by his power, right? By his power, he's sitting on the throne. So he said, I have offended my guru. My good fortune is over. Anyway, I can't do the whole thing. You have to read. But so what happened is that Indra, he went running with all the demigods. He went running to the home of Brihaspati. But Brihaspati has understood that Indradev is looking for him. So what did he do? So he wanted to teach Indra a lesson. So what did he do? He disappeared. So Prabhupada explained this point. While Indra, this is 16, while Indra, the king of the demigods, thought in this way and repented in his own assembly, Brihaspati, the most powerful spiritual master, understood his mind. Thus he became invisible to Indra and left home, for Brihaspati was spiritually more powerful than King Indra. Very significant this. Indra wanted his throne, right? He wanted his house, his palace, right? But Brihaspati, see, usually the priests, the brahmanas, they are maintained by the kings, all right? It's like the Vaishyas and the priests. Basically, they're patronized by the priests, the kings. This is how all temples are maintained. Just like right now our temple, they are maintained by the business people, right? But you need governmental help. If government doesn't support, then even the business people, they can't maintain the temple. So these are the two ways by which they are maintained. What happened? Brihaspati, so it says here that Brihaspati is more powerful than King Indra. So, meaning that externally it looked like Brihaspati is dependent on Indra. Yeah, externally it looked like, huh? I mean, it's really, really like very subtle. So Indra is thinking, anyway, I'm his maintainer. I'm sitting on my throne, right? So subtle that anartha, right? So here I say that Brihaspati was spiritually more powerful than King Indra. So without hesitation, he left the home, right? Because Brahmanas, they don't care, right? They don't care. They're not attached to a home. So they very easily they walk out. So Brihaspati, being spiritually more powerful than Indra, he left that home. He didn't think, okay, I should satisfy Indra, right? So that I can maintain, my palace. Like Prabhupada explained all this in the purport. Hmm? So he left. So now what happened? So Indra's looking everywhere. He can't find it. He can't find. I'm now on text 18. तच्छ्रुत्वैवासुरा सर्वः हरिस्त्यौषा न सम्मतं देवान् प्रत्युद्यमं चक्रुर्दुर्मदः आततायिनः. Hearing of the pitiable condition of King Indra, the demons, following the instructions of their guru Shukracharya, equipped themselves with weapons and declared war against the demigods. So this is what happened. So they know that now they have become weak because their guru is gone. This is very, very instructive. When I was reading this, I always wondered, how is it that Bharat, which support, who are, they are pious people, right? Very pious. They take care of the cows, etc., etc. How did they get conquered? He has explained. I completely explain why India got conquered. This passage will tell you now. We are hearing. We're already hearing. So Shukracharya, he's the guru of the demons, meaning those who are impious, who are disobedient to Vishnu, right? Who only want to enjoy, who only just want to go and conquer and dominate. That's what's going on right now, right? So what did they do? They declared war against the demigods because they were pushed back, right? The demigods have already pushed them back. But now they know their guru is not there, they came back. This is what happened to India. Meaning that at some point in India, people offended their gurus. And the Brahminical class also, they offended their gurus, right? So when that happened, then outside people could come and dominate before them also, right? Text 19. Tervishrishteshu bhirtikshner nirbhinang guru bhavaha brahmanham sharanam jagmuh sahendra natakandharaha. The demigods' heads, thighs, and arms and the other parts of their bodies were injured by the sharp arrows of the demons. The demigods, headed by Indra, saw no other course than to immediately approach Lord Brahma with bowed heads for shelter and proper instruction. Yeah, the chief of all the devas is Lord Brahma, right? He's in charge of the universal management. He's the head. He's the CEO of universal management, right? So here you are, those who are the appointed kings, they started to become enjoyers, sense enjoyers. That's exactly what happened in India. The kings became sense enjoyers, right? And the brahmanas, they also became sense enjoyers, right? So they lost India. Text 20. तंस्तथाभ्यर्दितान् वीक्ष्य भगवान् आत्मभूरजः कृपया पराय देव उवाच परिशान्त्वयन्. When the most powerful Lord Brahma saw the demigods coming towards him, their bodies gravely injured by the arrows of the demons. He pacified them by his great causeless mercy and spoke as follows. What to do? You know, children always make mistake, right? And so now they've gone to their great grandsire, right? So what will he do? He has to pacify, right? Hmm? Text 21. Shri Brahmo Vacha Ahobata Sura Shrestha Yabhadram Vaha Kritam Mahat Brahmistham Brahmanam Dantam Aishwaryam Nabhyanandata. Lord Brahma said, O best of the demigods, unfortunately, because of madness resulting from your material opulence, you failed to receive Brihaspati properly when he came to your assembly. Because he's aware of the Supreme Brahman and fully in control of his senses, he's the best of the Brahmanas. Therefore, it is very astonishing that you have acted impudently towards him. Purport. Lord Brahma recognized the Brahminical qualification of Brihaspati, who was the spiritual master of the demigods, because of his awareness of the Supreme Brahman. Brihaspati was very much in control of his senses and mind, and therefore he is a most qualified Brahmana. Lord Brahma chastised the demigods for not properly respecting this Brahmana, who was their guru. Lord Brahma wanted to impress upon the demigods that one's guru should not be disrespected under any circumstances. When Brihaspati entered the assembly of the demigods, they and their king Indra took him for granted. Just say, I mean, Bhagavatam is more stories of how devotees make mistakes and suffer the consequences than demons, right? We believe it's always, like the devas who are winning over the demons, keeping the demons in control, but they themselves show their demoniac qualities, right? So here Indra, he became disrespectful towards his guru. So this is all for our instructions, so that we don't make these mistakes, and we do make the mistakes. When Brihaspati entered the assembly of the demigods, they and their king Indra took him for granted. Since he came every day, they thought they didn't need to show him special respect. As it is said, familiarity breeds contempt. See, actually what happened, if there is genuine love, right? Well, there are two things. One is duty and one is love. If there is love, like anyone knows, those who are mothers, when you see your child, won't you get up? Right? When your child comes from school, right? What will you do? Immediately, whatever you may be doing, right? You will go, you will bring the child, right? Every day you are doing the same thing, right? Because there's love. When there's duty, there's like obligation. It's not spontaneous, it's not from the heart. So that's why we get caught. So familiarity breeds contempt. Being very much displeased, Brihaspati immediately left Indra's palace. Thus all the demigods headed by Indra became offenders of the lotus feet of Brihaspati, and Lord Brahma, being aware of this, condemned their neglect. So that's why we are not in the spiritual world, because we can't have this type of attitude. And be in the spiritual world, if we have that type of attitude, then we are thrown out. So I heard Prabhupada explaining that this sadhana bhakti is the practice. It is the practice to enter the spiritual world. It's the actual practice. So this sadachar, which is here, this breach of etiquette, this sadachar. I remember Bhakti Charu Swami, when he was teaching us Bhakti Sadachar, he said, what is this Bhakti Sadachar? Is how to behave in the spiritual world, right? And he said, whole life. Bhakti Sadachar is not for the new bhakta. Bhakti Sadachar, your entire life. You're learning, you're practicing, because we forget, we give up. Familiarity breeds contempt, right? We stop behaving properly. So again is being repeated. In a song we sing every day, Narottam Das Thakur says, Chakshudan dil ye, Janme Janme Prabhu say. The Guru gives spiritual insight to the disciple, and therefore the Guru should be considered his master, life after life. Right? See, once Guru has given enlightenment, meaning the eyes is open. I remember this very well. When I started to understand, there was no question of going back and continuing with our previous life. Because now it's like you are enlightened, you know. So you have to go forward. You can't go back and do what you were doing, previously. You can't pretend that I don't know. Right? And once the soul is awakened to this fact, you remain there and you progress. Right? I think we all have this experience. So Chakshudan Diloje, which every day we sing. I hope you're singing every day at home. You're singing at home. You are? You do? Every single day? No, every single day. Right? Guru is worshipped every single day without fail, every morning. This is Diksha, right? This is Diksha. So there's no sometimes forget. No, then we forget, we become like Indra forgetting Brihaspati, right? Again, I read it. In a song, we sing how often? How often? Prabhupada wrote it, right? Every day? Every day. Prabhupada has written every day. In a song, we sing every day, not sometimes. Specifically, if we are initiated, right? Every day we do Guru Puja without fail, right? So in a song we sing every day, Narottam Das Thakur said, Chakshudan Dilojay, Janme Janme Prabhu said, the Guru gives spiritual insight to the disciple, and therefore the Guru should be considered his master, life after life. Under no circumstances should the Guru be disrespected, but the demigods being puffed up by their material possessions were disrespectful to their Guru. Therefore, Srimad Bhagavatam 11.17.27 advises, Acharyam mam vijaniyam navamanyeta karhichid namartya buddhya suyate. The Acharya should always be offered respectful obeisances. Meaning, every day we are doing Guru Puja, every day we are offering obeisances. No? One should never envy the Acharya, considering him to be an ordinary human being. Is representative of Krishna. I'm just reading so that we complete this chapter. Text 22. Tasyayam anasyasyasit parebhyo va parabhavaha prakshenebhya svaveribhya samridhanam chayatsuraha. Because of your misbehavior, oh my God, who would like to be told like this? Anayasya. Because of your misbehavior. So this is, see, demigods are very proud, right? I mean, whoever has a position, everybody is very proud and nobody can tell them anything, right? But Lord Brahma is the superior, right? Lord Brahma is the superior. So he's saying you are mad with your pride. Even though, see, we may admit to ourselves that we did wrong, like Indra. I'm just speaking human psychology. We admit to others. He repented in front of everybody. He repented to himself. But still, if somebody would have told him, verbally, you are like this, he would have become angry. Right? So who told him? Who told him? Brahma, Lord Brahma. Right? Lord Brahma told him. He said, you have been defeated, but because of your misbehavior towards Brihaspati, you have been defeated by the demons. My dear demigods, seeing the demons were weak, having been defeated by you several times, how else could you, who were so advanced in opulence, be defeated by them? Right? I mean, that's why I keep saying, I mean, for me, I always have that question, how is it that India got conquered? Right? You know, Bhakticharya Swami, he used to tell us, India was never under foreign rule. But for 1,000 years, India got conquered and defeated, right? And then their nature, their misbehavior came into Bharatvarsh, right? And polluted, and now they are like them. Isn't it? They are like them. Hmm? No. Suno. Oh? So, my dear demigods, seeing the demons were weak, because remember in Mahabharata, the Pandavas, they threw out those who were not following Vedic culture, he threw them out. There's demons, they are not following the Vedic civilization. Now, Indra himself, what did he do? What did he do, Indra? He went against Vaishnava etiquette, right? Vedic etiquette. So that's going to be explained here. The Devas are celebrated for fighting with the Asuras perpetually. In such fights, the Asuras were always defeated, but this time the demigods were defeated. Why? The reason I stated here was that they had offended their spiritual master. Their impudent disrespect of their spiritual master was the cause of their defeat by the demons. As stated in the Shastras, when one disrespects a respectable superior, one loses his longevity. Meaning he dies in battle, right? He's getting injured, right? He loses his longevity and the results of his pious activities. And in this way, one is degraded. Meaning those who respect you start to criticize you. Those who were always cautious, guarding your wealth, they start cheating you, right? Anyway, I'm just hearing Prabhupada. I just heard some lectures on this. Anyway, yeah, India itself, right, got looted, right? Completely looted, became poverty-stricken. I heard that when finally the British left India, India was among the poorest of the poorest. Why? Looted, right? So now we know. So now, again, Krishna consciousness is spreading, right? Again, in the last so many years, it is spreading. And there is more support. And also, like, on one hand, it's like coming out from that stage, but at the same time, Kali Yuga is on. It's going both ways. So therefore, if we're becoming devotees, right, then we have to be very, very careful that we continue to chant and learn Sadachar, Vaishnava Sadachar. Text 23. Maghavan dvishatah pasyah prakshinam gurvatikramat sampratyupachitam bhuyah kavyam aradhya bhaktitah Adharinam nilayanam mamapi bhrigudevatah. O Indra, your enemies, the demons, were extremely weak because of the disrespect towards Shukaracharya. Demons, what do they care about superiors? I'm just saying one thing. Now, the way the youngster, the way they behave, they have no respect at all for seniors, isn't it? Very much. Why? Because they become the nature of demons, right? Isn't it? That's what's being described here. It's horrible. O Indra, your enemies, the demons, were extremely weak because of the disrespect of Shukracharya. But since they have now worshipped Shukracharya with great devotion, they have again become powerful. So when they follow their guru, they respect him, accept his instruction, so they become powerful. By their devotion to Shukracharya, they have increased their strength so much that now they are even able to easily seize my abode from me. Yeah, actually, I was listening to Burijan Prabhu's classes on this section. You know, so he was speaking about this. You know, this great culture of the Vedic society that make it maintain its glory. But as soon as that crumbles, then everything is lost. Hmm? So the world is becoming more and more uncivilized. Purport. The Lord Brahma wanted to point out to the demigods that by the strength of the Guru, one can become most powerful within this world, and by the displeasure of the Guru, one can lose everything. This is confirmed by the song of Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. Yasya prasadat bhagavat prasado, yasya prasadan nagati kutopi. Every day we are singing this song. Every day, right? Every day we are singing this song. Two songs we are singing every day, right? All right. Everybody is initiated here, right? These two songs. By the mercy of the spiritual master, one is benedicted by the mercy of Krishna. Without the grace of the spiritual master, one cannot make any advancement. Yeah, so again, when we are reciting the prayers, we should know the meaning of the prayer. We cannot just speak in a language that we don't understand, right? So we should know. Although the demons are insignificant in comparison to Lord Brahma, because of the strength of their guru, they were so powerful that they could even seize Brahmalok from Lord Brahma. We therefore pray to the spiritual master. Mukam karoti vachalam pangum langayate girim yat kripa tamaham vande shri gurum dina taranam. By the mercy of the Guru, even a dumb man can become the greatest orator, and even a lame man can cross mountains. As advised by Lord Brahma, one should remember this Shastric injunction if one desires success in his life. What is our success? What is our success? Yeah, Krishna Prema. I think that's a good thing. Like I just said, no, if you do something out of duty and if you do something out of love, right? Such a huge difference, right? So, Krishna means prem. Then we will really, we don't have to follow regulative principles. It comes automatically. It's natural. Text 24. Tripishtatapam kim ganayantya bhedya mantra bribunam anushikshitarthaha न विप्रगोविन्द गविश्वरानं भवञ्च भद्राणि नरेश्वराणाम्. Because of their firm determination to follow the instructions of Shukracharya, his disciples, the demons, are now unconcerned about the demigods, meaning the demigods have become insignificant. They have no protection, right? They have no protection. They're on their own. They have to defend themselves by their own prowess. They have no more shelter, right? Can you imagine if any one of us, we were to be alone? Every day, why are we praying? Yeah, every day, why? Yeah, every day, why are we praying? Why are we praying every day? All this, why? So that we feel, right? Yeah, we feel, right? I'm not alone. Yeah, we're protected, right? We feel the power, we feel the protection. And now here, how will we recite all these prayers to Guru? That Brihaspati has offended his Guru. How will we recite all this? Right? So now the demons know they have no shelter. So it's like when the father dies, then the children, they fight among themselves. Or those who are enemies of the children, they come and pounce upon the children. right? In fact, kings or others who have determined faith in the mercy of Brahmanas, cows, and the Supreme Person Godhead Krishna, and who always worship these three are always strong in their position. Every day we are reciting this prayer. Is it true or not? Right? Every day we are reciting, at least 3 times we are reciting, right? Right? Just see how everything is inclusive in our daily practices. From the instructions of Lord Brahma, it is understood that everyone should very faithfully worship the Brahmanas, the Supreme Person Godhead and the cows. The Supreme Person Godhead is Go Brahmana Hitayacha. He is always very kind to cows and Brahmanas. Therefore, one who worships Govinda must satisfy him by worshipping the Brahmanas and cows. Now, see, Prabhupada is giving instruction. If a government worship the Brahmanas, the cows and Krishna, Govinda, it is never defeated anywhere. Otherwise, it must always be defeated and condemned everywhere. At the present moment, all over the world, governments have no respect for Brahmanas, cows, and Govinda, and consequently, there are chaotic conditions all over the world. In summary, although the demigods were very powerful in material opulence, the demigods defeated them in battle because the demigods had behaved disrespectfully towards a Brahmana, Brihaspati, who was their spiritual master. So demons, they fight among themselves, right? They have no rule, they have no guidance. Somewhere Prabhupada described, the duty of the Brahmanas to be advisors, the duty of the Kshatriya is administration, the duty of the Vaishyas is to produce food and cow protection, and the duty of the Shudra is to serve the other, to obey the other three, right? So now, because nobody is obedient to this rule, right? Nobody is obedient. So therefore, everybody does their own thing. Whatever they feel like, they do, right? So it is like might is right, right? Might is right. I'm stronger than you, then I'm right. After you read all this Bhagavatam, if you open, by good luck or ill luck, you open your mobile, right? You see all the news, right? All the news, all the wars. You can immediately see why they're behaving in this way. Text 25. Tad Vishwarupam bhajata vipraham tapasvinam tvastramathatmanvantam subhajitorthan savidhasya seyutu yasyate voh yadikshamishadvam utasya karma. O demigods, I instruct you to approach Vishwarup. So they went to Lord Brahma, and Lord Brahma is giving the instruction. Okay, meaning Guru give instruction and disciple is to obey. Or disciples say, well, we don't know whether we should do it this way or that way. Just see what type of instruction he gives. I mean, this entire section is such a huge disaster. See what he said. I instruct you to approach. See, in that instruction, he gave two instructions. I instruct you to approach Vishwarup, the son of Twasta, and accept him as your guru. This is instruction number 1. Why you should accept him? He is a pure and very powerful Brahmana undergoing austerity and penances. Meaning he's controlling the mind and senses. This is the meaning of austerity. And penances, meaning he is like having his sadhana the way we all doing. We get up early in the morning, we take bath, we chant, we give in donation, whatever way, or you work for whatever. But some penance is there. Pleased by your worship, all right? pleased by your worship, he will fulfill your desires. Because now you have to worship a guru, right? Right? How will you get what you need? You have to worship him. He will fulfill your desires. Now it's second instruction. Provided that you tolerate his being inclined to side with the demons. Vishwarup is the son of Twasta. Twasta is married to a Rachana, I think her name is, who is from the demons family. Mixed marriage. Alright? So, Vishwarup, he has two sides. He has one, Twasta's, right? Who's a demigod, who's a Brahmana. He's a Brahmana. And on the other side, he's got his mother, who is from the demons. So, see how it's such a catch, right? When you offend your guru, you don't know which perilous path you will walk. So now, he couldn't get a guru who is 100% sent person for them. He's getting a guru. His one side is for the demons and one side for the devas. So, Lord Brahma is instructing, you have to tolerate divine and demoniac. Sometimes we behave as divine, and sometimes we behave as demons. And who is opposite us? Samne wala has to tolerate, right? Isn't it? Isn't it? This is good instruction. Now see what's going to happen. Right? We are all in our own household. Are we not tolerating these two sides? Right? So here Lord Brahma says you have to tolerate this. Text 26. Shri Sukha uvacha taevam adita rajan brahmana vigatah jvaraha dishim twastram upavrajya parishwa jedam abruvan. Shri Shukadev Goswami continued. Thus advised by Lord Brahma. See, advised. I mean, just see, this world, better you go to the spiritual world, right? Here you have so many advice, so many perils, so many advice. Whew. Advice meaning you have to listen, right? Advice is given, you have to listen, right? Meaning that we don't listen usually. Thus advised by Lord Brahma and relieved of the anxiety, all the demigods went to the sage Vishwarup, the son of Twasta. My dear king, they embraced him and spoke as follows, right? See, now they've got a solution to their problem. They're being given advice, but very soon they will forget, right, the advice. Only my work will get done. Is that not us? Right? Just watch ourselves, how we behave. My work will get done. All right? So they were full of love. Right? Embrace Vishwarup and spoke as follows. Shri Deva Uchuhu Vayam te tithaya prapta ashramam bhadramastute kama sampadyatam tata pitranam samayochitaha. The demigod said, beloved, I spoke of love, right? Here it starts like this. Beloved Vishwarup. Because that beloved Vishwarup, that Indra will behead him. That's why I'm speaking. What he's doing now, how he's addressing him. Embrace him. Beloved Vishwarup, may there be all good fortune for you. What does it say? Badram astute. Like we say namaste, right? Namaste, we say namaste. Here I say, Badram astute. Let there be good fortune for you. The demigod is giving benediction. Let there be good fortune for you. We the demigods, let's see how they're ashamed now. They're giving benediction. They're saying that be good fortune for you. We the demigods have come to your ashram as your guests. All right? You come as your guest. See how they're presenting themselves. They've come as your guests. Please try to fulfill our desires according to the time, since we are on the level of your parents. Now, parents, okay, parents is coming down to the level of the nephews. See? Brihaspati was their superior. All right. Now, the demigods, they're losing everything. Now, to fulfill, they say, fulfill our desires. Right? So, what do they say there? We are on the level of your parents. So, sometimes, you may, somebody who's younger to you, right? Beta, do it, right? Right? Yeah, beta, do it, How Vishwarup will respond. Putranam hi paro dharma pitri shushrushanam satam api putravatam brahman kimutta brahmacharinam. O Brahmana, the highest duty of a son, even though he has sons of his own, is to serve his parents. And what to speak of a son who is a brahmachari? So now, parent has to beg from sons. All right? Parent is begging from son. He's saying, your duty is to take care of your parents. Text 29:30. Acharyo Brahmano Murti, Pita Murti Prajapate, Brata Maruta Pater Murti, Mata Sakshat Shitestanuhu, Dayaya Bhagini Murtir, Dharmasyatmati Bhi Swayam, Aganer Abhyagatto Murti, Sarva Bhutani Chatmanaha. The Acharya, the spiritual master who teaches all the Vedic knowledge and gives initiation by offering the sacred thread, is the personification of all the Vedas. Similarly, a father personifies Lord Brahma, a brother King Indra, a mother the planet Earth, and a sister Mercy. A guest personifies religious principles. An invited guest personifies the demigod Agni, and all living entities personify Lord Vishnu, the supreme personality of Godhead. Purport. According to the moral instructions of Chanakya Pandit, Atmavad Sarva Bhuteshu, one should observe all living entities to be on the same level as oneself. This means that no one should be neglected as inferior, because Paramatma is seated in everyone's body. Everyone should be respected as a temple of the Supreme Person Godhead. This verse describes the different ways in which one should respect a guru, a father, a brother, a sister, a guest, and so on. So how should one respect guru? We should see him as the personification of Guru? Vedas. And how do we respect the father? Why? Prajapati, yes. Because the original father is who gives birth. The original father is Lord Brahma. All right. Then the king, a brother, meaning brother, he's taking care of all the family. So King Indra, he is like taking care of the administration, the property, etc. Mother Earth, Earth should be respected as mother, right? Because she is what? Nourishing us, isn't it? Earth is nourishing, is feeding us. So she is to be respected as mother. And a sister Mercy, meaning that we should protect the sister, right? We show mercy to the sister by giving her protection, right? Then a guest, if a guest come, this is religious principle, meaning, just see, a guest came, right? Religious principle. Indra is speaking now. A guest came, right? I mean, we are laughing, we ourselves do it. An invited guest, meaning you have invited somebody to home, meaning your chula has to be on, right? Agni, right? I mean, it's such a culture in India. As soon as a guest arrives, immediately the ladies used to be in the kitchen, isn't it? Immediately, right? And all living entities personify Lord Vishnu. So this is how the etiquette, moral instructions. Text 31. Tasman pritinam artanam artim para parabhavam tapasappanna yam statata sandesham kartum arhashi. Dear son, we have been defeated by our enemies, and therefore we are very much aggrieved. Please mercifully fulfill our desires by relieving our distress through the strength of your austerities. Please fulfill our prayers. So remember, there's Guru Maharaj is coming. Is now? No, Guru Maharaj. We are done. Hare Krishna. So this is X31.